I think we need this particular series because God said it, and I believe it. Now let's see, what did God say and what am I talking about? Then God said, let us make a man, someone like ourselves, to be the master of all life. So God made man like his maker. And God told man, you are master of the fish and birds and all the animals found in First Genesis. What did God say? God said to me, Johnnie Colemon, you are a master. And I'm saying, yes, I am that I am. I am a master. You have to accept what God has said, or you will never be able to be it. I want to be a master. I want to master everything in my life, in my world, and in my affairs. I want to master it before it even gets to me. On the way, you will know when you reach me, I'm in charge. No person, no thing, no condition will ever master me, because God said I was the master. When are we going to step in our master shoes and be what we were created to be? I think perhaps one of the reasons, or maybe this is not it, but I want to believe this anyway. I think that, and I know this, all during the years, people have been taught, been given guidelines how to be what God created them to be. Guidelines. This is not new. We have always been taught because Jesus taught it. Jesus taught the positive way of life. Jesus talked about the mind because there's nothing else to talk about. But during the years, some people got it and it's in the right place because they put themselves in the right place to be taught. Some of us were not taught because we didn't know about it in the first place. And now that we do know about it, we are so settled and set in our old concepts and beliefs, and you're so comfortable you don't want to move out, so you don't do anything about it. I'm going to give some guidelines. Maybe somebody's going to say, but I've had this. I attend classes. Well, my good friend, I'm glad you attend classes, but you can't have too much of this. And the reason I know you need some more of it is because you are not perfect. When you get perfect, you will no longer need to study guidelines for a master. But until that time, if you've had it, accept it as a review. Each time you hear it, you will have grown in consciousness, and it will take on a new and different meaning. Anybody know what I'm saying? Guidelines for a master. And what is our very, very first lesson? The truth about God. And I'm very happy to speak for God because we say so many wrong things about God. And I'm sure we're saying only what we've been taught in the past. But to be a master, you must understand, have a true meaning of what God really is and what God is all about. See, you are just like God, and if you don't understand what God is like, how can you be just like Him? So in order to be a master, let's begin at the beginning, talking about God. What is God? What is God? Oh, I know if I'd give you an opportunity to answer, oh boy, I know you could come up with some really good ones. But I don't think I want to hear your answers, because I want to try to get it right with us for once in our lives. What is God? God is being. And I think you can agree with that. When I say being, I'm talking about capital B-E-I-N-G. And this being embraces the entire nature of God. Let me pause here and say, these are lessons now. These are lessons, and I'm teaching them because I know that we need lessons. Sometimes I love to preach, and before this is over, I'll probably get into a preaching thing again. But I'm trying to control myself, and let's learn something, and then I'll come back and preach. Is that okay? All right. Find out who and what God is before we preach. because we've been preaching and preaching and preaching, and when they got through preaching, I still didn't know who God was. Did you? I want to make sure that you know your God. Who and what is God? Now, God has an essential character or a nature, and it's extremely important. This is going to tear up your heaven, because the nature of God is absolute good, which means that God is not guilty of any of that mean stuff that you put on him. God did not make you sick. God did not make you poor. God did not make you unhappy. Why didn't God do that? Because his nature is, come on, absolute good. What is the nature of God? Tell me again. Absolute good. And God cannot give anything but his, come on, but his nature. God cannot give anything but good. God is good. So get all of that off of God. Whose fault is it if it's not God's fault? It's your fault. That's exactly right. What is God? Absolute good. And God has many different elements. God is life. God is love. God is power. God is substance. God is wisdom. All right. When we're talking about God, I think that we need to know the different names that people call God. Because sometimes if you're not in New Thought, they call God many names. But I think I want to stay with the New Thought names. When you hear divine mind, we are talking about God, aren't we? When we talk about God is principle, when we are saying and talking about this principle, and I would like to get on principle because you see God as principle means that he's the foundation that stands under what? All, everything that is or is not or will be is based upon a principle called God. That's the foundation under everything. I think I want to bring in the name that we talk about sometimes and we don't quite get it right. God is law, L-A-W. We like to think about God as love, which is true, but God is also law. You see, if you misuse the law, what's going to happen to you? But where is God, Johnny? God is right there waiting for you to stop lying and stealing and cheating and misusing the law. And when you come back, you will find that God is right there, will be there all the time, because he's unchangeable, thank God, unlimited. He's right there doing the only thing that he knows how to do, and that's loving you and being God. All right, God is creator. Like to talk about God being creator because we like to feel that God is still creating. No such thing. God has created all that he'll ever create, and he said is good and very good. I'm now finished with it. And I think he said something like this: now that I have created it, if you don't know how to use it, that's your business. But it's here for you. Master, learn how to deal with what I've already created, because you are my child. I know what you're going to need, and I've already made it for you. Where is it? Anybody know where it is? All around you, everywhere. Good, my choir knows this thing. God as creator. The earth was shapeless. The earth was void, they say. But he moved, and when he moved, he breathed the breath of life, and everything became a living thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then we say God is spirit, because spirit means that breath that he keeps breathing into everything. And if he doesn't breathe it into everything, there would be nothing. And here are my beautiful 3 words that I heard in my Methodist church that I thought was super. I tell you about them all the time. My minister would say, God is omnipotent. God is omnipresent. God is omniscient. Oh, and I'd walk out. Wasn't that delightful? And didn't know what in the world those 3 words meant, other than they were beautiful. Anybody in here do not know what those 3 words mean? Let me see your hands. Come on, we're teaching now, we're learning. Everybody knows. I see 2 little hands, and those are 2 little girls. Everybody else knows. When we say God is omnipresent, what are we saying? All. Omna means all. So we are saying God is all the presence that there is. Is that what you're saying? All right. When we say that God is omniscient, what do we say? All knowledge. You stumble around on that one. You didn't quite know which one that was because I changed spaces and places with it, you see. God is omnipresent, meaning all the present. God is omniscient, meaning all wisdom. And what is the other word? Omnipotent, meaning what? All power. Then God is all there is. There is absolutely, positively nothing else, just God. God in all of his absolute goodness. Then why in the world do we want to go and do something else? I'd like to know. Maybe we need to kind of talk about what we have done with this God. After God decided, now, I'm going to make me all over again. I think this is a conversation that God had with himself. And God said to himself, and I've got to have somebody down there just like me. And then when he decided to make all of us alike, God said, no, I'm unlimited, so I can't make everybody alike. So then he began to just press out of himself. But we all came out of this same God body. Do you understand that? And because you came out of the God body, you are just like God. And I claim mine. And when you get bold enough to claim it, then you'll be able to make some demonstrations in your life, world, and affairs. But not until then. What is man? What is man? I like to think about man. You know what a spool of thread is? Remember? See a spool of thread with me. Man is like a spool of thread. It's a lot of thread on this spool. And here we are unwinding, trying to get to the spool, because the spool represents the heart of us, the core of us, the Christ of us. Now, if you unravel this thread too fast, what will happen sometimes? It gets all tangled and I get little knots in it. And I don't sew too well. So every time I'm fooling with a spool of thread, mine get all knotted up and I can't even get it loose. Do you know what I have to do? I go and get a pair of scissors and cut it loose and start all over again. That's what you are, man. A spool of thread, unwinding, getting back to what you were created to be, perfect and whole. If you get some tangles and some knots in you, what are you going to do about it? Cut it loose. Don't sit there and pull on it. The harder you pull on it, the more what happens? Come on. Yes, it gets so tangled up you never will get it loose. I've even tried to get a pen sometimes and try to pick it loose. See, I don't sew too well, so I said, well, this can't be the way because it's getting worse. And the more you sit down with your problems, the more you cry on your shoulders and everybody else's shoulders, the harder it gets all tangled up. Cut it loose. Cut the knots out and the tangles out. As man, you have that privilege. And then keep right on going like it never happened. You know, when you get that thread all straightened out, you can get that needle and get going. You understand what I'm saying? What is man? Man, you are made in the image, likeness of God. And all the powers of God are available to you. Get that. All the powers of God. And we just finished saying God is all power. Then if God is all power, I am powerful. Because I and the Father are one, not two. I'm the place where his life and love and joy and peace and prosperity shines through me. I'm a master. And I know it. And I claim it. And get out of the way if you don't like it, because I talk big about it. Because that's the only way. That I think God would do that. I don't think God would pussyfoot. Suppose he had been pussyfooting around here. I can't say it because my friends don't know anything about it. We certainly would have had a poor world and a poor earth, and we wouldn't have looked like nothing either, would we? Would we? Of course not. People, you're going to have to understand how great you are. You're going to have to understand that you are actually masters. And then you're going to have to get up and act like it. Man is the will of God projected into visibility. I love it. Man, you are a threefold being. Being a threefold being, that means you are spirit. What else? Soul. What else? Body. You are spirit, soul, body. That's what you are. What about that soul? What about that soul? That soul became the covering for the spirit. And the spirit is the real part of you. That is that part of you that we always see because it's always perfect. Even when that soul becomes so active that it picks up things from the outer and brings it to that spirit, spirit can dissolve it and say, no, you can't come in here because I don't know anything but good. So man, you've got a body too. And that body shows forth spirit, soul. Whatever's going on in your soul, your body shows it. If it's good, you look at good. If the soul is receiving a lot of junk, you look junky. Man, know who and what you are. Will you please? Do you understand what I'm saying? Can you accept being pressed out of God? Can you accept the new thought that all that God is, I am? Can you accept it that he spoke these words to the man and the man wrote it in the Bible and said, you are God's? But people will look at you like you've lost your mind if you say, I am God. And I often wonder why. But I don't say it too much because it bothers people when I say I am God. I don't say it in their presence. I've learned better. There was a time I didn't care what they thought. But I got so upset because I'd have to argue with people. Every time I'd say I am God, they would question me. Well, God can't look like you. Yes, he can. God can't be your color. Yes, he can. He doesn't know anything about color, nor does he know anything about size. Do you understand what I'm talking about? If eating meat offends your brother, don't eat any meat. So when I found out it offended them, and the only reason it could offend them is because of lack of understanding, you see. I say it to Johnnie now. And I say it over and over and over. And I stand in the mirror and I say, I am God in expression. I am God with some skin on him. And God cannot have the bunkers of the conquers. That's why I keep identifying myself with God. Because I'm more than a human being. I am a spiritual being. And it does make a difference when you know who and what you are. I can walk through the hospitals without any fear. I can walk through the street without any fear. I can walk anywhere I want to walk without any fear because I know who I am. I know wherever I go, God goes with me because I couldn't walk if God didn't walk through me. I couldn't talk if God didn't open my mouth and talk through me. I'm talking about being a master. And once you know that you're a master, you also know that your everything comes from within you and not out here. Let them fight and let them kill themselves out here. I know where to go because I know who I am. I am a master. God said you are to master all life. He said it, and I believe it, and I'm going to do it. Keep on working with it. And I'm trying to get a few people to go along with me. Just a few people to go along with me. Let's suppose that there are 5 diamonds. Try to see 5 diamonds with me. The diamond in the center is a sparkling, clear, beautiful, maybe 1.5 or 2 carats. And it's standing out and it's so beautiful. Now on the left-hand side, you see 2 diamonds. And these 2 diamonds on the left-hand side are muddy, not clear at all. Now look on the right-hand side of this clear, beautiful, sparkling diamond. And you will see 2 more diamonds. And these diamonds are muddy. If you get acid or the tools or whatever it takes to clean up these 4 diamonds that have mud on them, you will discover that underneath that mud, are the mud balls they might look like. You will find the same kind of shining, sparkling diamond. My friends, when you accept the new thought that you are a God in expression, that's the acid that will wash all the mud off of you. When you find out that as a master, you are filled with love from the top of your heads to the tip ends of your toes, you will find love washing away all the mud. Whatever caused muddy situations in your life, in your world, and in your affairs, if you will just stop feeling sorry for yourself, if you will just hang in there and don't give up, if you get your Bible and just read Genesis 1 and 2, if you will just know that no doctor can tell you how to be sick, if you will just wake up and know that a calendar cannot decide your age, if you will just stop listening to things out here and wash the mud away, you will find that you too happens to be a sparkling, beautiful, 2.5 carat diamond. You will find the Christ if you get rid of the mud. What is man? You are a God in expression. You are God in the likeness of man. You are what you are, a master. And I get the authority to say that we are masters. And God said, this is where I got it from, let us make a man, someone like ourselves, to be the master of all life. So God made man like his maker. And God told man, you are master of the fish and birds and all the animals. That's where I got it from, Genesis 1. And I'm glad I got it, because if I had not gotten it, I would not be able to stand here to tell you, if you don't have it, get it. Be sure that you know that you are a master. And when you come into the realization that you are a master, then you too will know that you need some guidelines. You need some guidelines in order to be a master. You see, we've got to work with it. I don't understand. We're willing to work with everything and anything. We'll open a magazine and they'll tell you, try it out for 10 days. You can't wait to get to the post office the next morning to try it out for 10 days. And you actually try it out. Now, I'm just asking you to try this out for 10 days. Just try following the lessons that we are going to share the next week or next 4 weeks. Just try it for 10 days. And if you don't be a new creature in Christ Jesus, then I'll stop talking about it. And you know I don't want to stop talking about it because I'm so excited about it. And why am I excited about it? Because the moment that I accepted that I am a master, I was healed. The moment I accepted that I'm a master, I began to get prosperity from expected and unexpected ways. The moment that I accepted I am a master because God made me a master, I walked out and I wasn't lonely anymore. When I decided that I am a master, God, because you told me that I'm a master, I can walk anywhere I want to walk, anytime I want to walk, unafraid, not afraid of any big mouths, little mouths, and no mouths, and nothing, because I know who I am. And you've got to know who you are. And after you know who you are, you got to know that God started it all. So you've got to know who God is. You've got to know your relationship to God. Do you know your relationship to God? Your relationship to God is what? Father-Son. Father-Son. You are all that God is. You are man pressed out of God. Therefore, you are God in what? Expression. Or God with some skin on them. Isn't that fantastic to know that? Huh? Did you hear me? Is it fantastic to know that you are a master? Does it set you free? You better go. Now, nobody wants you to be free. And that's why I'm thrilled to be able to say you are free. You might have missed it before because nobody taught you that you were to be free. I don't intend for you to miss it. I intend for you to get out of bondage. I intend for you to be rich in money, substance. I intend for you to be rich in consciousness. I intend for you to have a healthy, rich body and live in wealth. I intend for you to draw to you those that can think the same way that you think. I intend for you to be able not to depend on anybody, but know that you are a master and you don't have to crawl and beg no more because you're free. You are free, and accept that freedom. And I'm freeing you from a spiritual standpoint. And nobody can take that away from you. You are a master because God said, master all life. Now you need a few guidelines. You got to know something about yourself. You see, you just weren't hatched. You are created out of God. And when he created you, he gave you some uniqueness. And we've got to tear it apart and see now just how unique am I. You are, first of all, we're reviewing now, a threefold being. You're spirit, come on, soul, body. Man is spirit, soul, body. Now that you know that you're spirit, soul, body, you got to know more than that. Because once you get that, then you've got to tear down these three parts that you are, but really one. First of all, you've got to know the real part of you is spirit. That is the part that's underneath that nobody can see, but it's always there. That's that perfect part of you. That's that part that cannot be sick. That's the part that I look at when you come to me and say, I got the bunkers of the conquers, and I look at you and say, oh, no, you don't have the bunkers of the conquers. I'm talking about the real you. I'm not talking about that part that's appearing out here. I go beyond the appearance and see the real spirit of you that cannot be sick. And then if I don't say it to you, I'm saying it in my own mind. Why do I say it in my own mind? Because that is our lesson right now. Your mind is your world. When you rule your mind, you rule your world. And when you begin to rule your world, everything changes. It no longer rules you. But you got to know something about that mind. The mind is the connecting link between you and God. What is the mind? The connecting link. That's it exactly. Now people walk around and you hear them saying it all the time. My mind this, I charted to change my mind, and my mind told me to do this, and my mind told me to do that. You don't have a mind. Did I shock you? I hope so. You do not have a mind. Let me use this example, please. There is only one air, right? Some people say it's hot air. Some say this air is very, very stagnant. And then there's fresh air. You can call the air anything you want, but there's still basically only one air. There is only one universal mind. And we all have consciousness, awareness in this one mind. Now, if you have been taught and you know how to use the different phases of your mind, you will be successful and happy and joyous and rich. But you must understand that the soul that we said is a part of you. There is a certain structure of your soul, which is extremely important. Look on your bulletin, and we have given you the structure of your soul. Your soul, and I'm using this way so that it's easy for you to understand. Your soul is divided into three distinct parts. And those parts are the superconscious phase, the what else? Conscious phase, and what else? Exactly. Now that you have consciousness in the one mind, when you learn that that when the mind becomes active, that means that this one mind, divine mind, is teeming with ideas. And these ideas that are always flowing in the mind of God, looking for a place to express themselves. When you receive an idea, and it only flows to minds that are ripe and ready, when you receive an idea from the mind of God, when that idea begins to move, the movement of that idea is called thinking. Thinking. I say sometimes, I'm just kidding around with God. I say, oh God, if you hadn't made me to think, I wouldn't get into so much trouble. Stop and think about it. It's our thinking that gets us into trouble, because the soul has not been trained to just let the thoughts flow from the superconscious mind. The superconscious phase of your mind is the God mind. It's that perfect mind. It's that part of you that inspires and can't give you anything but good thoughts. Now, it would be all right if we could just receive from the superconscious. But there's another phase of your mind known as the conscious phase of the mind. Some people like to think, now I'm not considering the superconscious, some people like to think that the subconscious is the most important part. I think the conscious mind is more important than the subconscious. You know why? Because if you ever get it right in the conscious mind feeds the subconscious. So I work on getting my thoughts right in the conscious mind. I stop it up here if I don't want it in my life, in my world, and in my affairs. You see, you just can't keep people from talking to you. They talk to you now, and I guess they always will. That's why I'm concerned about everybody in the world getting these lessons, so that if I still have to listen to you, I will listen to some good thoughts and some good words. You see, but because everybody has not been taught, they will come to you with anything. Have you ever had people come to you with anything? Telling me some old stuff about their aunt that had the bonkers or the conkers 900 years ago. Well, I don't want to hear that. And in order not to do and be and think that thought, because thoughts are things, and the minute you think about it, it becomes your thing. And here you are standing up telling me about Aunt Sue. Now, Aunt Sue, you see, the reason that Aunt Sue had it is because everybody in my family had it. And no need to try to tell me nothing, Johnny. Aunt Sue's supposed to have it, and I'm supposed to have it. And now I've got to stop all that in my conscious mind, because after a while, you're going to give it to me. Well, I don't want it. Do you understand? But suppose I do not stop it in the conscious phase of my mind. The conscious mind will then drop the bunkers of the conkers that Aunt Sue had into my subconscious mind. That subconscious mind is a tape recorder, and it cannot do anything but record whatever you drop into it, and then it has to obey. All it can do is play it back to you. Here it comes. Aunt Sue's got the bunkers of the compass. It runs in the family, so therefore you're supposed to have it. You got it too. You got it, you got it, you got it. That's the way the subconscious mind works. And before you know it, you wake up one morning and you suddenly discover this is what you described to me. That's why I don't want you describing nothing to me. Let the conscious mind, and then the conscious mind is pivotal, It will of itself look on the outer. And when it looks out there, if it has not been trained, it will just pick up what's going on out there, come back and drop it into that subconscious phase of your mind. I wonder, do you know what I'm saying? Work with the conscious mind. Now this is $50,000 worth of information I'm giving you. And I hope you hear me. And I hope you work with it. And I hope you don't throw it off like, oh, that's just a lot of stuff. That's why you're not any farther than you are weak, because you haven't heard and you don't know how this marvelous body is created and intended to work. That's why it keeps telling you, you are a master. You got everything you'll ever need if you only learn how to think. Your mind is your world, and your thoughts become your things, and your thoughts make your world. If you don't like what you're living, if you don't like what you're doing, change your thoughts. Don't try to change the people around you. They didn't cause it. If you can manage to stop all that they say in your conscious mind and turn them off, don't even hear them. Sometimes say yes when you're supposed to say no, because the reason you said no, you didn't hear them in the first place. Just turn them off completely. Keep it out of the conscious mind, and it will not get into the subconscious mind. I like to be around people that are up and talking good things, because I don't have to keep my guard up, because that's why I know if I don't hear nothing but good can go where? Where? All right, now we better do a little writing before my time is out. Get your bulletin, please, and I want you to write under superconscious, our inner power. Our inner power, real close under there. Right under conscious, man's intellect. You got it?
This concludes part 1 of this lesson. Please.
Superconscious, the feeling nature. The feeling nature. All right, read it back to me. What have you got under superconscious? Our inner power. Good. Conscious, man's intellect. Come on, subconscious. The feeling nature. All right, go back to subconscious. Let's go over to superconscious. Let's finish with that. And let's go straight down the line. Superconscious, we're going to fill in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, describing and talking about the superconscious phase of your being. Are you ready? In number 1 spot under superconscious, write inspiration. Inspiration. Number 2, pure knowing. Pure knowing. Number 3, illumination. Number 4, creative thinking. Number 5, original ideas. Got it? If you can't spell, just make something under there. Fix it so you know what it is. Okay? Conscious man's intellect. Number 1, reasoning, reasoning. Number 2, willing, willing. Number 3, choosing, choosing. Number 4, discerning, discerning. Number 5, judge. Judge. Got it? All right. Don't give up now. Don't give up. Write something down there. Subconscious. The feeling nature. What about that subconscious? Number 1, memory. In the subconscious, you will find a storehouse of memories. You know, sometimes you see somebody and you think, I know them. And here comes the name of that person. Where is it coming from? Out of your storehouse of memories. And that storehouse is located where? All right. Number 2, feelings. Feelings. Number 3, emotions. Number 4, involuntary, involuntary. 5, reservoir of all thoughts. You can just say all thoughts are in there. I make it easy. All thoughts are in there. That you allow to be in there. Don't you like to add that? Man has power to think and feel separated from his God self. Have you got everything under there now? Do I need to run that by you one more time? Have you got all 5 of them? because you're going to go home now and take your bulletin and study it well. And you're going to begin from this moment on to not let anything get into your conscious mind that you do not want in your life. You see, I like to think about the subconscious mind as being soil. Can you just be with me a moment and plant some seeds in soil? You see, when you plant the seeds in the soil, they bring forth what is planted, don't they? So here we are, you see, screaming and hollering all the time about what's going on in our lives. Whatever is going on in your life, it couldn't go on in there if you had not planted it. Have you got it? If you don't like what's going on in your life, in your world, and in your affairs, please stop planting it. Proverbs 23:7 says the same thing. Write it down. Proverbs 23:7. As he thinketh in his heart, come on, so is he. Write Proverbs 4:23. Proverbs 4:23. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Your whole life, your mind is your what? Your mind is your what? When you rule your mind, you rule what? Your life is what you think. Think straight, as they used to say. Straighten up and fly right. And when you think straight, your life has to be straight. Bless you.